Hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, you know, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
Message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family.
There was no sign of this. This is just...
You know, everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find out.
Sheila E. was the last person Prince confided in, and now word is spreading that she's revealing what he had been trying to protect us from, and why Diddy allegedly didn't want him alive to expose it.
First Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Here's the thing. Some fans believe Prince was preparing to expose something far deeper and darker than just music industry politics. It wasn't only about owning his masters, it was about revealing the culture of exploitation, manipulation, and possibly even ritualistic practices lurking within the entertainment world. And guess what? Diddy's name is once again surfacing in those same unsettling conversations. Coincidence? Maybe. But now Sheila E., who's remained mostly silent for years, is, according to multiple sources, finally speaking out. And what she's allegedly saying is chilling. She claims Prince had been trying to protect the world from something heavy, and that he carried a burden most people weren't ready to understand. For some context, Sheila E. first met Prince in 1977 at a concert where she was performing with her father, legendary percussionist Pete Escovedo. Fast forward to 1984, she signed with Warner Bros. Records and began working on her debut solo album, The Glamorous Life, with Prince co-writing and playing on the title track. That same year, she opened for him on the now iconic Purple Rain tour, which catapulted both of their careers. Soon after, she signed with Prince's label, Paisley Park Records. Sheila E. served as musical director for his Sign O, The Times, and Love Sexy tours, contributed to several of his albums throughout the 80s, and even appeared in his concert film Sign of the Times. Their connection ran deep, both musically and personally. But here's where things get really interesting. Beyond the studio and stage, Sheila E. and Prince shared a profoundly intimate bond, one fans still whisper about to this day. During a live performance, Prince once locked eyes with her across the stage and mouthed two unexpected, life-changing words: "Marry me." It wasn't planned. It wasn't for show. It was raw, real, and unscripted. According to reports, the two were even briefly engaged, though they never married. Now, as Sheila E. breaks her silence, many are wondering, what exactly was Prince trying to warn us about, and why did it cost him everything?
You know, you were in a relationship with Prince. He even proposed to you. How did he do it?
It was during the Sign of the Times tour, and there are many songs that were like really emotional to me when we played, and Purple Rain was one of them. So playing that song and playing drums, I just love playing that song. And next thing I know, he's taking his solo, and as I opened my eyes, he was turning at the same time that I opened my eyes, and he's taking his solo and he turns to me and he said, "Will you marry me?"
Now, it's been reported that Sheila E. and Prince hadn't spoken for about 5 years before his passing in 2016, supposedly due to details she shared in her autobiography, The Beat of My Own Drum, about their relationship. But what if that's not the whole truth? According to close sources, the two actually reconnected toward the end of Prince's life. And during that time, Prince allegedly confided in Sheila E., not just about the music industry, but about some shocking things, including details involving Diddy. Allegedly. Here's the thing. Prince had long warned us about powerful forces in the industry, the ones who controlled narratives, owned artists, and silenced truth-tellers. Was Diddy one of them? Well, yeah, girl. And remember, Prince was fiercely vocal about artists being paid fairly and owning their music. That was his mission.
December 31st, 1999. My publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
Here's the thing. Prince signed with Warner Music in 1977 at just 18 years old. While the albums he released between 1978 and 1981 didn't make a huge commercial splash, Warner kept him on. They saw him as a serious musician and an artist worth investing in for the long haul. At the time, Warner had a reputation for nurturing long-term talent. Then, in 1982, just a year after MTV launched, Prince broke into the US Top 10. He quickly became part of a new generation of artists who understood how to use the music video not just for promotion, but as a tool to build a larger-than-life image, a mythology around their artistry. Eventually, Prince launched his own label, Paisley Park Records. It was partially funded and distributed by Warner, but by then the cracks were showing. Prince had already begun to speak out, calling attention to how his label was shortchanging him and taking advantage of his talent, despite his undeniable influence and success in the industry.
It's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Yes, we're talking about the same Warner Bros. That backed Prince and also funded Diddy. In fact, Diddy struck a deal with Warner that gave the record company a 50% stake in his Bad Boy Records label. Under that agreement, Warner would handle both digital and physical distribution of Bad Boy's catalog on a global scale. The Bad Boy roster included artists like Sheila E, Mario Winans, The Notorious Big, and Diddy himself. When discussing the deal, Diddy once said, "There have been a lot of boutique record labels that come and go, and we are still here. This ensures that, for the next couple of years, we have the right financial backing, the right structure, the right partners to remain a force in the music industry." But here's the twist. The same way Warner was accused of exploiting Prince and other artists is the same way Diddy allegedly treated his own artists at Bad Boy Records. Take Lil Jerome, for instance. When asked if leaving the label was his decision, he explained it was more about the pressure and chaos of the industry. "I had a nervous breakdown, and it was in Puff's best interest not to keep the project," he said. Jerome had reportedly completed 13 songs and was preparing for an album release before things fell apart, and Diddy, he didn't care. The project was shelved, and Jerome was pushed out. Carl Thomas shared a similar story. After the tragic death of his brother, Diddy reportedly waited just a week before calling and asking when he'd be back in the studio because he had some hits ready for him. There was no space for grief, just deadlines. Then there was Biggie. According to Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal, Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy for a better deal before his death. And after Biggie's passing, Diddy allegedly showed little emotion. Instead, he became laser-focused on making Life After Death a no-one album. Number one, top 10, top 10, top 10 was all he reportedly cared about. Long before Diddy was hit with lawsuits, he was trending for something else: the sudden announcement that he was giving back publishing rights to former bad boy artists. It sounded generous, but there was a catch. Aubrey O'Day revealed that she'd received the publishing agreement months earlier and warned that the fine print wasn't exactly in the artist's favor. Other former bad boy artists also received similar calls, the offer to reclaim their publishing, but under terms that raised serious concerns. So once again, the pattern repeats: power, control, and the illusion of generosity masking a deeper truth.
Basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming, for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
Diddy's decision to return publishing rights to former bad boy artists may have looked generous on the surface, but many believe it was just another calculated move rooted in manipulation, control, and silencing. And reportedly, Prince saw all of this coming long before the public even began paying attention. If he shared even a fraction of what he knew with Sheila E, it makes sense why she's only now beginning to speak out. The story Prince took to his grave might finally be catching up with the people he tried to warn us about. According to sources close to Sheila E, Prince saw the music industry for what it truly was, and he had been sounding the alarm for years. He warned of the exploitation of artists, the theft of creative ownership, and a system designed to chew artists up and spit them out. He called it modern-day slavery. He accused labels of stealing legacies. And yes, he wanted to name names. For years, Sheila E has spoken about Prince with grace and respect, rarely delving into deeper controversies. But now, nearly a decade since his death, she's reportedly beginning to open up, subtly but powerfully. She's hinted that Prince carried a heavy burden, one he rarely shared. Sources close to her claim he confided in her about more than just his personal battles. He spoke of what he believed was coming for the entire music industry. Prince wasn't just fighting for his own masters. He was trying to expose the entire machine. A machine he said allowed powerful people to play God with artists' lives and careers. With recent events shaking the music world, particularly the mounting legal controversies surrounding Diddy, people are starting to connect the dots. What's even more unsettling is that Prince seemed to know the end was near. Just days before his death, he posted an image of himself with a chilling caption, "Just when you thought you were safe." The post was later deleted. At his final appearance at a Paisley Park party, following a reported hospital visit, Prince reportedly told attendees, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Days later, he was found unresponsive at his Minnesota estate and pronounced dead at age 57. Officials ruled it an accidental overdose from counterfeit Vicodin laced with fentanyl. But even Sheila E has publicly said that explanation never sat right with her.
There are reports that say that the landing last week was a treatment for some sort of drug overdose, whether prescription or illicit. Did you ever have any signs of drug use? Did you ever see any signs of drug use with him lately that would end up in something like this?
No.
So we have to ask, was Prince's death simply a tragic end to a legendary life, or is there something deeper beneath the surface? Is Sheila E finally ready to reveal the truth? And just how far down does the rabbit hole go with Diddy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are we reaching or uncovering what was hiding in plain sight all along?